For centuries, gardeners and farmers have turned to simple brews made from plants to wake up tired soil. These weren't store-bought fertilizers or complicated formulas, they were homemade teas, created by soaking leaves in water until they transformed into a living, microbe-rich solution. In some traditions, it was just weeds left to rot down. In others, nutrient-packed leaves like comfrey, nettle, or even crop residues were steeped until they released their compounds. The practice has roots in ancient farming cultures across Asia, Europe, and Africa, where people noticed that when this green tea was poured over soil, plants grew faster, pests became less of a problem, and the earth itself turned darker and richer. But the question remains, how fast does this kind of fermented leaf tea actually lead to humus formation? Can liquid brews made from leaves change soil structure, or are they simply a temporary nutrient shot? To find out, a test was run, fermenting a batch of leaf tea and applying it to the soil over the course of a month. What unfolded was a fascinating timeline of microbial explosions, worm activity, and visible shifts in soil quality that prove this old-world practice still holds tremendous value today. At its core, leaf tea is a fermentation process. When leaves are submerged in water and left to steep, naturally occurring microbes begin breaking them down. Sugars, proteins, and soluble minerals like potassium, calcium, and magnesium are released into the liquid. As the brew ferments, it not only becomes nutrient-rich but also loaded with beneficial bacteria and fungi. When poured onto soil, this liquid inoculates the ground with life, almost like adding a starter culture to bread or yogurt. Unlike raw leaves, which can take months to decompose, the tea delivers nutrients immediately in a soluble form, while also priming the soil ecosystem to process organic matter more efficiently. The real question is how fast this process translates into humus, the stable, black organic matter that gardeners prize. The experiment began by filling a barrel with chopped leaves, mostly nettle, comfrey, and assorted garden trimmings, then topping it off with water. Within 3 days, the liquid turned from clear to murky green, and a distinct earthy odor developed. By day 5, bubbles rose to the surface, a sure sign that fermentation was underway. Applied to the soil at this stage, the tea functioned as a microbial shockwave. Within a week of watering garden beds with the liquid, the surface soil was noticeably damp for longer periods. The activity of microbes increased, creating a faint sheen on the top layer, and fungal hyphae began threading their way across organic debris. Worms did not immediately respond, but signs of microlife were evident: faster decomposition of small surface residues, a mild softening of soil texture, and increased moisture retention. By the second week, the tea had deepened in color to a dark brown, resembling weak coffee. The odor grew stronger, an unmistakable mix of earth and fermentation. When applied again, the soil response was more pronounced. Worms began surfacing after watering, drawn by the combination of moisture and microbial activity. Their castings appeared along the topsoil, proof they were feeding and moving organic matter deeper into the ground. By week 3, the changes were undeniable. Soil samples dug from the treated areas revealed a stark contrast compared to untreated soil. The top 2 inches were richer in color, with a noticeable increase in worm channels. The earth was looser, held moisture evenly, and small aggregates were forming, tiny clumps of soil bound together by microbial glues and fungal threads. By this point, the soil no longer looked dry or lifeless. It was alive, forming the building blocks of lasting fertility. The tea itself had reached peak potency. Left to ferment for 3 weeks, it carried not just soluble nutrients but a thriving community of bacteria and fungi. Every application was like an inoculation, turning the soil into a living culture. By the end of 30 days, the results were clear. Soil that had been regularly treated with fermented leaf tea was significantly darker, softer, and easier to work. The top layer had developed a crumbly structure typical of humus formation. Worm activity was abundant, and the number of castings had increased 3-fold compared to the beginning. Plant growth in the test area reflected the shift. with leaves greener, stems sturdier, and resilience to dry spells markedly better. The secret to the rapid results lies in the fermentation process. Normally, leaves left on the ground must first be colonized by microbes, a process that can take weeks before decomposition even begins in earnest. By pre-fermenting leaves in water, gardeners essentially jumpstart the process. The tea delivers nutrients in an immediately usable form and carries microbial inoculants that spread through the soil food web. To try this in your own garden, all that's needed is a container, leaves, and water. Fill the container halfway with chopped leaves, then top it with water. Leave it to ferment for at least 2 weeks, stirring occasionally. The longer it ferments, the more potent it becomes. Strain the liquid and dilute it with water before applying to soil. About 1 part tea to 10 parts water is sufficient. Apply weekly for best results and don't discard the sludge at the bottom. Work it directly into the soil as a slow-release amendment. The key is consistency. A single application won't transform soil overnight, but regular use over a month will create the visible changes described here. Over time, continued use builds a deeper bank of humus and supports long-term fertility. The experiment confirmed what ancient farmers already knew. Fermented leaf tea is more than a garden tonic. It's a soil builder. In just 30 days, the application of this simple brew accelerated humus formation, invited worm activity, and transformed tired ground into living earth. For modern gardeners, this means access to a powerful, low-cost, and time-tested method of soil enrichment that doesn't rely on commercial fertilizers or complicated equipment. In an era where many gardeners look for shortcuts, this old technique proves that sometimes the most effective solutions are the simplest. By harnessing the natural process of fermentation, gardeners can create a living amendment that works with the soil rather than against it. If this guide gave you a new perspective on how fermented leaf teas can build humus fast, make sure to subscribe to Hydrohaven and share this with other gardeners. Together we can keep bringing ancient soil wisdom back into modern gardens, one test and one season at a time.